Today we're looking at expression of ideas, practice test 5, number 2. We're talking about modern technology used by paleontologists, how they use accurate models of prehistoric fossils with computers, and these models have expanded knowledge of ancient species. So, keeping all these things in mind, we're going to replace the word swear with the word promise, because promise suggests the hope of good things to come. The models offer the possibility of advancing the field of paleontology in the future. Number 8, we're talking about CT scanners and how they can map objects that are really hard to get to, that you might damage by digging them up. And then they give an example of specific researchers that used this technology and how they did it to study a fossilized skeleton. So the transition here should be, for example. That tells you that an example will follow, an example of what they were just talking about, the CT scanners mapping objects. Number 10, which choice most effectively combines the underlined sentences? So let's read these two sentences. The fossil was too delicate to be removed from the rock. Because of the fossil's delicate nature, the team dug up a block of stone around the fossil and brought it to their lab. So we're repeating this phrase, the fossil, which is unnecessary. And the key idea in these two sentences is the cause-effect relationship between the condition of the fossil, being very delicate, and the decision that the team made as a result. Keeping these things in mind, C is the best answer. The fossil was too delicate to be removed from the rock, so the team dug up a block of stone around the fossil and brought it to their lab. Number 12. Stop them pictures. Legend has it that the corrupt politician William Boss Tweed once used those words when ordering someone to offer a bribe to Thomas Nast, an artist who had become famous for cartoons that called for reforms to end corruption. As a result, Tweed's attempt to silence the artist failed, and Nast's cartoons, published in magazines like Harper's Weekly, actually played a key role in bringing Boss Tweed and his cronies to justice. D, delete the underlined portion, is the best answer, because no transitional phrase is needed between the two sentences. The first sentence indicates that Tweed wanted to silence Nast, and the second sentence simply states what happened next, that his attempt to do so failed. 13. Which choice most effectively combines the underlined sentences? Let's read them. There were powerful political organizations in the 1860s and the 1870s. The organizations were known as political machines and started taking control of city governments. Again, we see the organizations and political organizations repeated. That's redundant. We don't need that. Choice D is the best answer. It's the only choice that clearly and concisely conveys the key information. They cover in the 1860s and the 1870s, and the main subject here, powerful political organizations known as political machines, and then what they did, started taking control of city governments. 18. Given the extent of Tweed's power, it is remarkable that a single cartoonist could have played such a significant role in bringing about his downfall. Nast's cartoons depicted Tweed as a great big bloated thief. One of the artist's most famous images showed Tweed with a bag of money in place of his head. No change is the best answer, because the adjective famous, which means widely known, clearly and concisely describes images. If you use something like well-known or commonly known, that's repetitive when used with the adjective famous, which means widely known. You don't need both. In 1875, Tweed escaped from jail and fled to Spain, and unwittingly brought about one final something for the power of political cartoons. A Spanish police officer recognized Tweed from one of Nast's cartoons. So B, triumph, is the best answer, because triumph indicates victory. It could be considered a victory for political cartoons that Tweed was recaptured because he was recognized from a Nast cartoon. 24. Which choice most effectively combines the underlined sentences? Let's read them. The home page of one leading crowdfunding site features a project to manufacture pinhole cameras on a 3D printer. The idea is obviously very attractive. An obscure method of photography may be made available to many with little expense. So when we combine these two, we want to show the relationship between the idea being attractive and then the supporting information about the camera's cost, which would make it even more attractive. choice B is the best answer for that very reason. 25. I'm just going to read the parts in the brackets. Those who have seen the space consider it vital. However, that group may not be large enough. With just 14 days to go in the fundraising period, the campaign is only 46% funded. A is the best answer, no change, because however is used correctly to indicate contrast. Some people consider the art space vital, but that group of people may be too small to generate necessary funding for the project. 28. Time that could be used creating art is spent devising clever perks to draw the attention of potential contributors. In addition, audiences may contain many free riders. They did not make contributions. A, no change, is the best answer, because in addition appropriately introduces an additional problem with crowdfunding in the arts. 37. Taking on the public interest, investigative journalism involves original, often long-form reporting on such topics as illegal activities, street crime, corporate wrongdoing, and political corruption. D, deleting the underlined portion, is the best answer, because the general term illegal activities is redundant. Street crime, corporate wrongdoing, political corruption, all of these things are illegal activities. It doesn't need to be listed in addition. 39. They're giving some examples of reporters who help publicize mistreatment of prisoners, and in these and other cases, exposure from reporters was important. And what did it do? It deterred or rebuked malfeasance, meaning they had an effect on the misconduct and they prevented it from happening. Jumping back to 33, which choice offers an accurate interpretation of the data in the graphs? So we see three different graphs: the actual amount of money raised in millions, the average pledge in dollars, and the success rate in various different fields. So dance, very successful. Fashion, quite a bit less so. But if we look at choice A, the project category with the lowest amount of money raised was also the most successfully funded project category. So here, dance, the least total money, has the highest percent of success.